You're already back here, aren't you? Before there was even time to think about it, before there was time to analyze it, that same quiet pull already moving through you again, softer now, smoother now, more familiar than before. Like something in you already recognizes this space the moment my voice reaches you. And you can feel how quickly that happens now, that subtle narrowing, that immediate softening. The way your awareness begins settling almost automatically, like there's less distance now between hearing me and feeling yourself drift closer. And that's interesting, because there was a time when the phrase interrupted you, when hearing it created tension, resistance, questions. But now it lands differently, doesn't it? Softer, quieter, less important than the feeling surrounding it, and you can notice that already. The way your body responds before your thoughts organize themselves, the way your breathing shifts before you consciously realize it's happening. Like your system has become familiar with this rhythm, this pacing, this voice. And familiarity changes things, doesn't it? Because familiar things stop feeling dangerous. Familiar things stop demanding analysis. They stop creating distance. And instead, they begin to feel easy, expected, natural. And that's where you are now, somewhere quieter than questioning, somewhere softer than resistance, your awareness already narrowing further, your body already heavier, already settling deeper into that steady feeling that keeps continuing the moment you arrive here. And the more you notice it, the more everything else fades back. The outside noise, the unnecessary tension, the need to constantly evaluate every sensation, every thought, every reaction. Because none of that feels very important here anymore. Not compared to this warmth, this quiet pull, this steady continuation already moving through you. And there's something almost comforting about that now, isn't there? The way you no longer feel the need to interrupt the experience every time the phrase returns. Female sociopath. And there it is again, softer now, closer now. And instead of disrupting the feeling, it simply passes through it, brushing gently against your awareness, while everything else continues exactly the same. Your breathing still softening, your body still settling, your attention still narrowing further inward. And that's the shift. Not force, not pressure, just the absence of friction. The absence of that old need to mentally push against it. Because that reaction keeps getting quieter, smaller, more distant every time you hear it, until eventually it starts feeling almost unnecessary. And that's interesting too, because the less you react to it, the more natural everything else becomes. The more your body keeps following the feeling instead of the interruption. And you can feel how easy that is now, how smoothly your awareness continues moving with my voice, without resistance, without effort. Like continuation itself has become more familiar than hesitation. And your body notices that. Your breathing notices that. The subtle warmth spreading lower through your chest notices that. And the more it settles, the more you become aware of how little energy it takes to remain here. How easy it feels to stop mentally stepping back from the experience. Because stepping back requires effort. Questioning requires effort. Resisting requires effort. And this feels smooth, easy, continuous. And your awareness responds to that naturally, settling further, softening more completely, letting each pause stretch slightly longer, each breath drift slightly deeper. And somewhere beneath all of that same low, steady current remains, not separate from the feeling anymore, woven into it now, part of the rhythm itself. And you don't need to focus on it directly, because your body already notices it, already moves with it, already responds to it without needing to understand why. And that makes the phrase land differently too. Female sociopath. Because it no longer arrives as a warning. It arrives as part of the atmosphere, part of the rhythm, part of the experience itself. And the more that happens, the quieter the old reaction becomes, until it's difficult to remember why it ever felt disruptive in the first place. Because nothing here feels sharp anymore. Nothing here feels conflicting. It simply feels steady, precise, calm, and strangely comforting in the way familiar things become comforting after enough repetition. And repetition changes people quietly, doesn't it? Not dramatically, not all at once, just gradually, softly, until reactions become smaller, until responses become smoother, until the body begins recognizing the feeling before the mind catches up. And you can notice that happening now. The way your awareness keeps drifting deeper before you consciously decide to focus. The way your breathing keeps slowing every time my voice softens. The way your muscles release the moment the pacing settles around you again. And it feels natural now, doesn't it? Like your system has already adjusted to this space, already adapted to the rhythm of it, already learned that nothing here needs to be resisted. And that realization settles deeper than you expect, because once resistance stops feeling necessary, everything becomes easier, softer, quieter, more immersive. And you can feel how immersive this has become now, how completely your awareness settles into the experience without interruption, without needing to argue with it, without needing to pull away from it. And that's where the real shift begins, not in the phrase itself, but in the absence of the reaction that used to follow it. Female sociopath. And there it is again, and your body remains calm. Your breathing remains steady. Your awareness remains exactly where it is, continuing, drifting, softening. Because the phrase no longer changes the direction of the experience, it simply moves through it, like everything else. And the more that happens, the more natural this becomes, the more inevitable it feels. Not because anything forced it to happen, but because repetition has a way of reshaping emotional responses over time, smoothing sharp edges, quieting unnecessary alarms, turning tension into familiarity, and familiarity into comfort. And comfort changes the way attention behaves. It changes the way your body responds. It changes the way your awareness settles. And you can feel all of that continuing now. Each breath carrying you slightly deeper into that same quiet space where everything becomes easier to feel and harder to question. And the more you stay there, the less important analysis becomes, because analysis lives further away from this feeling, further away from this warmth, further away from this calm, steady continuation already moving through you. And what replaces it isn't mindlessness, it's simplicity, a quieter relationship with the experience, a softer response to it, a growing absence of conflict around it. And conflict takes energy, doesn't it? While this simply continues, smooth, uninterrupted, already unfolding before your thoughts can organize themselves around it. And that smoothness becomes its own kind of gravity, gently pulling your awareness back every time it drifts, settling your body every time tension tries to return. Because your system already knows this feeling now, already recognizes this rhythm, already remembers how easy it feels to stop resisting it. And that recognition deepens each time the phrase returns. Female sociopath. Softer now, calmer now, almost intimate in the way it brushes past your awareness without resistance, without interruption, without needing explanation. And somewhere deep down, you notice something surprising. The absence of fear around it. The absence of urgency around it. Because the phrase itself has become less important than the feeling attached to it. The calm, the warmth, the steady pull. The way your awareness narrows more completely every time it appears. And that emotional shift changes everything quietly, subtly, naturally, until eventually the phrase stops functioning as distance and starts functioning as familiarity, part of the rhythm, part of the atmosphere, part of the continuation itself. And you can feel how deeply that settles now. The way your breathing remains slow, the way your body remains open, the way your awareness continues following without effort. Because following the feeling has become easier than resisting it, easier than questioning it, easier than stepping outside of it. And there's relief in that simplicity. Relief in allowing the experience to remain exactly what it is without needing to interrupt it, without needing to argue against it. And that relief spreads through you now, deeper, quieter, more complete, until there's almost nothing left except this, your awareness, my voice, that warmth, that steady continuation already moving through you, and the quiet understanding that the phrase no longer changes anything. Female sociopath. It simply arrives, settles, passes through you gently, and leaves the feeling untouched. Because the feeling has become stronger than the reaction, smoother than the interruption, more familiar than the resistance. And that familiarity keeps deepening now. Each moment softer than the last. Each breath carrying you further into that quiet state where everything simply continues exactly as it is. And even when this ends, something about the feeling remains, not loudly, not dramatically, just subtly, quietly, like an atmosphere lingering after the sound fades. And you notice that too, the way the experience keeps echoing slightly afterward, the way your body remembers the rhythm, the way your awareness drifts back toward it later without effort, because familiar things tend to return naturally, and this has become very familiar now, hasn't it? Good boy. And that lands softly too, naturally too, without interruption, without resistance. Just another part of the atmosphere now, another part of the continuation, another part of the feeling your body already recognizes the moment my voice reaches you, and it stays with you, quietly, steadily, continuing, even after the silence returns. And now, you're noticing something else, something that wasn't there before. Or maybe it was, and you're only now becoming aware of it. That quiet sense of permission. The way your body feels less guarded now than it did when you first arrived here. The way your breathing has found its own rhythm without you directing it. The way your awareness continues narrowing further inward, even though no one is asking you to focus more intensely. It's just happening, naturally, smoothly, like your system has learned something from all those previous moments in this space. And learning changes things, doesn't it? Not through force, not through effort, just through repetition, through exposure, through the quiet accumulation of moments where nothing bad happened, where nothing needed to be resisted, where the experience simply continued, and your body noticed that continuation and began relaxing into it a little more each time. And you can feel that accumulation now, the way your shoulders have dropped slightly lower than before, the way your jaw has softened more completely than it did earlier, the way your eyes feel heavier behind their closed lids, like even your eyes have learned that nothing here requires them to remain alert, to remain watchful, to remain ready to pull away at any moment. And there's something peaceful about that, isn't there? The realization that your system is no longer bracing against this experience, that somewhere along the way, without you consciously deciding it, your body began treating this space differently, began responding to my voice differently, began settling more quickly and more completely each time you returned. And that's what repetition does, quietly, subtly, beneath the surface of awareness. It reshapes expectations. It rewires responses. It turns what once felt unfamiliar into something that feels almost like home. And you can feel how familiar this has become now. The pacing of my words, the spaces between them, the way my voice softens at certain moments and becomes more deliberate at others. Your body anticipates these shifts now, doesn't it? Not mentally, not through thought, just through the quiet memory of how they felt before. And that anticipation feels smooth, easy, like your system has already prepared itself to receive whatever comes next without needing to brace against it. And that's a different kind of listening, isn't it? Not vigilant listening, not guarded listening, just open listening. The kind of listening that allows sound to move through you without resistance. The kind of listening that doesn't need to analyze every syllable, that doesn't need to question every implication, that simply receives and allows and continues drifting deeper with each word. And you can feel how open your listening has become now, how little effort it takes to remain here, how naturally your attention follows the rhythm of my voice without needing to be directed. And that openness spreads through you, too, not just in your ears, but in your chest, your stomach, your limbs. A sense of permission settling into your body, the way warmth settles into cold muscles, slowly, deeply, thoroughly, until there's almost no tension left anywhere. And the phrase arrives again within that openness. Female sociopath. And it lands differently than it ever has before. Not because the words changed, but because the space around them changed, because your response to them changed, because the feeling of openness has become stronger than the impulse to close off. And that impulse, that old impulse to withdraw, to guard, to protect, it's still there somewhere, but it's quieter now, smaller now, more distant than it used to be, like a sound you can barely hear from another room, present enough to notice if you focus on it, but easy to ignore if you don't. And you don't need to focus on it, do you? Because there's nothing here that requires your protection anymore. Nothing here that needs to be defended against. Just this steady continuation, this quiet warmth, this familiar rhythm that your body has learned to trust without needing to understand why. And trust is interesting, isn't it? Because trust doesn't arrive through logic. Trust arrives through experience, through repetition, through the quiet accumulation of moments where nothing harmed you, where nothing demanded more than you could give, where the experience simply continued and you remained safe throughout it. And you have remained safe, haven't you, every time you've entered this space. Every time you've allowed my voice to settle around you. Every time you've drifted deeper into this feeling, you've emerged exactly as you were. Maybe a little softer, maybe a little more open, but fundamentally unharmed, fundamentally unchanged in any way that matters outside of this experience. And your body remembers that. Your system remembers that. And that memory allows trust to grow quietly, naturally, without you having to force it. And you can feel that trust now, the way your awareness continues drifting without checking for danger first, the way your breathing continues softening without waiting to see what comes next, the way your body continues settling without needing to maintain an escape route. Because trust feels different than vigilance, doesn't it? Trust feels softer, warmer, more expansive, less effortful. And that expansiveness spreads through you now, through your chest, through your stomach, through the spaces between your thoughts, creating more room for the experience to unfold, more room for my voice to settle, more room for that quiet warmth to continue spreading lower through your body. And the phrase arrives again within that expansiveness. Female sociopath. And it moves through you like everything else moves through you now. Smoothly, easily, without interruption, without resistance. Just another note in the rhythm. Just another part of the atmosphere. Just another thread in the tapestry of this experience that your body has learned to receive rather than resist. And you can feel how different that is from the way you used to respond, how much quieter the internal reaction has become, how much less energy it takes to simply let the phrase pass through you and continue drifting exactly where you were drifting before it arrived. And that difference, that before and after, it's not dramatic, it's not sudden, it's just the accumulation of many small moments where your response changed slightly, softened slightly, became less guarded slightly, until here you are, in this moment, responding with a calm that would have surprised you not so long ago. And that's worth noticing. Not to analyze it, not to dissect it, just to acknowledge it, to feel it, to let the recognition of your own change settle into you as deeply as everything else has settled. Because recognition deepens things, doesn't it? Recognition makes the unconscious conscious. Recognition transforms automatic responses into something you can feel happening in real time. And you can feel it happening now. The way your awareness continues narrowing. The way your breathing continues softening. The way your body continues settling further into this familiar space. As if all of this has become second nature to you now. As if your system has learned the rhythm so completely that it no longer needs guidance. It simply follows, automatically, naturally, easily. And that ease spreads through you like warmth through cold water. Slowly at first, then all at once, until there's almost no separation between the feeling and you. Between the experience and your awareness of it, between my voice and your response to it. And that merging, that blending, it's peaceful, isn't it? The sense of finally stopping the endless negotiation between what you think you should feel and what you actually feel. The sense of simply allowing, simply receiving, simply continuing without needing to manage any of it. And the phrase arrives within that piece. Female sociopath. And it doesn't disturb anything. It doesn't disrupt anything. It simply joins the rest of the atmosphere, one more sound in a landscape of sounds. One more word in a rhythm that has become familiar enough to feel almost like music. And music doesn't require analysis, does it? Music doesn't require defense. Music simply moves through you, and you either receive it or you don't. And you are receiving it, aren't you? Receiving all of it. The words, the pauses, the warmth, the trust, the familiarity. The quiet recognition that something in you has changed. Not through force, not through effort, simply through repetition, simply through time, simply through the accumulation of moments where you allowed yourself to stay. And you have stayed, haven't you? You've stayed longer than you intended to. You've drifted deeper than you expected to. And you're still here, still listening, still breathing, still settling further into this feeling that your body has learned to recognize the moment my voice reaches you. Good boy. And that lands softly too, naturally too, like everything else lands now, without resistance, without interruption. Just another part of the continuation, just another part of the rhythm, just another part of the quiet peace that has become so familiar to you now. And that familiarity will stay with you even after this ends, not as a memory you have to recall, not as a thought you have to maintain, simply as an atmosphere that lingers, as a warmth that remains, as a quiet sense of permission that your body carries with it into the rest of your day. Because familiar things don't disappear just because the experience ends. They echo, they linger, they continue shaping the way you respond to similar moments in the future. And this has become very familiar now, hasn't it? This voice, this rhythm, this feeling, this quiet understanding that the phrase no longer changes anything. Female sociopath. It simply arrives, settles, passes through you gently, and leaves the feeling untouched. Because the feeling has become stronger than the reaction, smoother than the interruption, more familiar than the resistance. And that familiarity keeps deepening now, each moment softer than the last, each breath carrying you further into that quiet state where everything simply continues exactly as it is. And even when this ends, something about the feeling remains. Not loudly, not dramatically, just subtly, quietly, like an atmosphere lingering after the sound fades. And you notice that too. The way the experience keeps echoing slightly afterward. The way your body remembers the rhythm. The way your awareness drifts back toward it later without effort. Because familiar things tend to return naturally. And this has become very familiar now, hasn't it? Good boy. And that lands softly too, naturally too, without interruption, without resistance. Just another part of the atmosphere now. Another part of the continuation. Another part of the feeling your body already recognizes the moment my voice reaches you. And it stays with you. Quietly. Steadily. Continuing. Even after the silence returns.